Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we finna react to the Untold Truth about Madden NFL 09. Hey, man, I apologize for not uploading a lot yesterday. Y'all lucky y'all had some shit in the vote. Y'all would've got nothing. But I had a thunderstorm come through on Friday, shut all my power off. I said, fuck it, I'm not finna even go through it. I went to sleep thinking, okay, maybe the power will come back on around like 10 o'clock. Because I got home early. It was like 7:30 when the power went out. My power didn't come back on till like 11:45-ish or somewhere around that time. And I didn't wake up until 2 o'clock in the morning because I had to go pee. So because I had to go pee, that's the only time I woke up. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and my power was back on and everything. So I do apologize, but I did manage to have some stuff ready to go. I was going to spam y'all sub boxes today, which is hella work. So I think I'm going to do it for today because I'm trying to get a lot of stuff out of my watch list, on my watch playlist, out of here. So that way I can focus on, so that way I can just clear out a bunch of videos that's just been sitting in here for a minute. But yeah, man, without further ado, man, let's get right into it. I appreciate, another thing too, I appreciate y'all for the big 3K. We 3K in right now, man. I appreciate it. We finally made it to 3K. Finally. We 3K strong, man. Let's see how long it takes to get to 4K, because it took a long time to get to 3K. I got to 2K quicker than I got to 3K. But that's neither here nor there. Beggars can't be choosers. I really appreciate y'all for sticking around with me for this long, man. Hey, man. We growing as a community, man. Let's keep it rocking, man. I really do appreciate that. Anyways, though, let's get right into the video.
Madden 09 wasn't considered to be a great game when it released because it wasn't. After EA secured exclusive rights with the NFL and then released the infamous Madden 06, many feared a downward spiral in quality. Madden 07's debut on next-gen consoles was disappointing, but signs of improvement emerged with Madden 08. Keep in mind, when I've referred to Madden 08 as the last great Madden, or one of my all-time favorites, I've been referring to the PS2 and Xbox version, not the PS3 and 360 version.
Brother, we understand.
They were very different games.
We understand, bro.
I know it gets
you guys
a little
explain
confusing, but this video is all about the 360 and PS3 versions of Madden, unless stated otherwise. Madden 09 was easily the best Madden so far for the Xbox 360 and PS3, but it wasn't without its flaws, and it was missing numerous features found in the older gen Madden titles. It received a fair share of heat for that, as fans of the defunct NFL 2K series were feeling withdrawals from being without a good NFL game for so long. Fast forward to today, and Madden has been worse than ever for a long time. Looking back now, Madden 09 doesn't actually seem that bad. With nostalgia definitely helping, this game is still a lot of fun, and does a lot of things better than Madden 24. It even had a collector's edition that I will be going over in this video with some surprises. I think it's time we talk about the untold truth about Madden 09. A Madden that was mid, but maybe not as mid as we once thought. The first thing I noticed when replaying Madden 09 for this video was that the game had a collector's edition. Unlike today, where the most expensive versions of Madden simply give you more Ultimate Team currency and packs, Madden 09's collector's edition was actually worth the money. It included a fully playable version of Madden 93 with updated rosters, so you can play with Eli Manning with graphics like these. Pretty sick and a fun addition that reminds me of when the NHL games featured NHL 94 within the game. The controls are mapped to a modern PS3 or Xbox 360 controller, and it's fun. But as you can tell from this footage, my Madden 93 skills are a little rusty. The collector's edition didn't stop there. Numerous OG NFL Films video clips were included, and because Brett Favre was featured on the cover of this game, most of them had to do with him. I can't show these for copyright reasons, but these 7 videos are awesome and definitely worth watching. I love when sports games actually care about the history of the league they represent, rather than just using the likeness of classic players to sell virtual card packs. But the most interesting addition to me was the Madden NFL concept art. I had never seen nor heard of this artwork before, and wow. It starts with some innocent renders of NFL stadiums, but then it gets kind of crazy. Look at this ice-themed field, or this elevated jungle stadium. I've always thought about how cool a fictional team in a fantasy stadium would look in a Madden game. Because it's a video game, anything is possible, and it really seems like the Madden 09 team had some unique ideas that just didn't make it to the final product.
Oh shit.
I'm glad to see that at least in 2008, EA still aimed to innovate rather than just coast by. I'd much rather get access to this art, a bunch of NFL Films content, and an updated port of Madden 93 than some Ultimate Team card packs. Do you guys agree? That was everything the Collector's Edition included, but Madden 09 in its base form also had some unique features and game modes. Fantasy football is one example. When clicking the About tab, you are greeted with the sentence, "Known for innovation in video games, EA Sports is now bringing innovation to fantasy football." Man, I wish you could still say EA was known for innovation today. This feature will no longer work in 2024, but you were able to import your actual fantasy football team into Madden and play with it, and also get live fantasy scoring updates while playing Madden. You could use Madden 09 as your fantasy draft tool for the whole league, hear EA Sports experts discuss the top players, and run your league through Madden 09. This really does sound innovative, and I wish I could see how that worked, because I missed out on this feature back in 08. To be fair, I was 9. When you first boot up Madden 09, you get a pop-up to take the Madden IQ test with the late great John Madden. This basically tests your gameplay ability to give you a custom difficulty setting that best fits you. And the more you play afterwards, the more your Madden IQ adjusts to give you dynamic difficulty. Of course, if you don't like that, you can just switch it to Pro or All Madden, etc. It was pretty innovative for 2008. The IQ test actually looks sick too visually, and I actually found it kind of challenging. It reminds me of Backbreaker, just going through waves of offense and defense. It's a pretty cool tutorial with some style. Some other cool features include the Hall of Fame, which shows every single real-life Hall of Fame player up to that point. And as you play through your franchise or superstar mode, your best players can enter the Hall of Fame as well. It's a much better version of Madden 24's legacy leaderboard. And because Madden 24 is just so slow to navigate around in, I have to mention just how quick and snappy Madden 09 is. I like clicking a button and getting an immediate response. I hate waiting, even if it's for 2 seconds. Responsiveness is an underrated part of video games, and it's something Madden 09 was pretty good at. The menu presentation of Madden 09 was really unique too. This game tried to take 2K5's crib and turn it into the menu backdrop. So as you play and accumulate awards and championships, your menu screen will fill up with hardware and rings, giving you a reason to keep playing. I like that a lot. See, we haven't even got into the gameplay or the main game modes yet. Madden 09, not considered a great game back then, looks quite deep compared to newer Maddens, doesn't it? Madden moments were in the game, and I miss them. Oh man, do I miss them. One of the most fun parts of these older Maddens is being able to replay historic moments. That's what I feel like sports video games were made for. Imagine recreating the David Tyree helmet catch and jumping right into that situation. Why this is no longer a thing, I have no idea. Notice all of the real NFL pictures and visuals throughout this game. I like that so much more than seeing some crude video game render of a guy standing there like in Madden 24. Let's talk about gameplay. It's alright. Sometimes the gameplay seems really bad, like in this example where my left tackle just decided he didn't want to block. The CPU can make some really strange decisions too. Sometimes receivers just don't even run their routes, and it's all very janky. It's arcadey, but it's still pretty fun. Player weapons return from Madden 08, which are sort of like superstar abilities in Madden 24. Players have a weapon logo under them pre-snap, so you can quickly scan the field and see which players to look out for. This game had the rewind feature, where you could redo a play if you didn't like the result. You can disable this feature if you want. Interestingly, this is the first Madden where you could bluff play art pre-snap, and the first Madden where on defense you could spotlight a receiver to force double coverage. Overall, the gameplay is better than Madden 08 on the 360, but crossing routes are too easy as the middle of the field is poorly covered by the CPU. This is still an issue in Madden 24, but strangely when I played Madden 16, crossing routes were covered well. This series makes no sense. Compared to All Pro Football 2K8, Madden 09's gameplay looks like garbage, but for an older Madden title, it's fine. It depends on what your expectations are. Chris Collinsworth was added as a color commentator, giving the game more of a broadcast presentation feel. Love him or hate him, his voice adds a lot in my opinion. He also breaks down plays in a very in-depth manner. Take a listen.
One thing you absolutely have to have on pass plays is enough time to go through your reads. On this one, you can see that the defense got a great push off the snap, never giving the quarterback the time he needed to go through his progressions. Had the quarterback had a little more time, I think we would have seen an open receiver in the secondary, but he never got to him. You'll see the receiver become an option for the quarterback against the zone coverage on this play. He recognized the coverage immediately and makes a nice adjustment to get open.
Graphically, Madden 09 looked great for the time, and while player movement and animations aren't close to as good as All Pro Football 2K8, the overall lighting and detail is very authentic. The grass looks more real than it does in Madden 24. I love the camera angles too pre-snap. It feels different than the last decade of Madden titles in a good way. It's something new and fresh, even though it's old, if that makes sense. And look at that snow! This game nailed the vibe visually. Franchise mode is more or less the same as Madden 08, meaning it's missing a lot of the features from the PS2 gen versions of the game. But compared to what we have today, it's not bad. You could play any game, regardless of what team you controlled, you could relocate anywhere you wanted, and then custom build your stadium and uniform. The CPU teams actually make trades during the NFL draft. And one feature I miss a lot is the team export feature. If you build an awesome team and don't want it to forever disappear after the season, you can export it for use in other modes. So no matter what happens, you can always go back and play a game with your custom-built roster in its prime. Franchise also had a specific menu for tracking stats against team rivals. So if you're the Giants, you can keep track of how you fared against Washington, Dallas, or Philly throughout your tenure, as well as all of history. It's subtle, but makes these rivalry games feel more important. That said, Madden 10 did take a big step forward with franchise mode in comparison. Superstar mode is the exact same mode ported from Madden 08 as well, but it was still better than Face of the Franchise. You could be any position you wanted, play more fun minigames, and there were no cringy cutscenes wasting the game's budget. Minigames were also available to play whenever, not just in Superstar mode, so you could run a 6-second 40-yard dash whenever you wanted. By the way, yes, this is the game where Greg Jennings carried the team on his back with a broken leg. Iconic. The soundtrack was fire too. A nice mix of popular songs of varied genres from the era, and also some NFL Films Sam Spence bangers, a bunch of them. Some classics, some modernized remixes. These instrumentals really set the tone when managing your team in franchise mode. And a cool touch, whenever you viewed an instant replay back then, it would play these songs. These Sam Spence songs are the soundtrack to football for me. And it's a crime against humanity that EA no longer includes them in Madden.
Probably
But
can't
hey,
afford the licensing.
Cardi B is in the new games. This is one of my favorite eras in NFL history. Looking at these rosters brings me a ton of nostalgia because the 08 season was the first season I really got into when I was younger. That Cardinals-Steelers Super Bowl was incredible. Brandon Jacobs having 90 speed at 265 is absurd. Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew was a crazy backfield. This was the first year Rodgers became a starter for the Packers. And he had Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, James Jones, and Jordy Nelson to throw to. Brady and Moss were both 99s. NFL greats were available to put on teams as well. No microtransactions needed. Brett Favre was considered retired actually when this game first released, so he was on the greats list, but after an update he was put on the Jets roster. Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco were rookies. I could go on and on about these rosters, but this was a sick NFL era. Playing this game just brings back so many memories for me. Madden NFL 09 was seen as a mild update to Madden 08 when it released. To many, it was disappointing, considering the PS2 era titles had more meat within their game modes, and All Pro Football 2K8 released the year before and had much better gameplay and animation quality. But Madden 09 is actually one of my favorite Maddens I've played in recent years, and while nostalgia definitely helps, it's clear that despite the game's flaws, it was made with passion. From the cool main menu design to the in-game presentation, to the bonus features in the Collector's Edition, to the soundtrack, to the awesome Madden moments from an iconic era, I feel like Madden 09 is a better game today than it was when it released. This game feels like a time machine, which is what I feel like sports games should always aim to be, an accurate representation of its own era. And with modern technology, newer games should allow us to go back in time and replay older eras, like an NBA 2K. But unfortunately, EA hasn't done anything like that, so playing older games like 09 is the next best thing. As mediocre as Madden 09 was received at launch, I sure wish Madden 24 was made with as much care and attention to detail. And the crazy part is, fans were saying that exact same thing back when comparing Madden 09 to the PS2 Maddens or even 2K Football. How far things have fallen. Regardless, if you love football and you want to experience the vibe of the NFL in 2008, look no further than Madden 09 for the Xbox 360 and PS3. It's not perfect, it's not even great, but it's probably better than you remember, and it might surprise you. Thanks for watching.
Alrighty, man. That's just gonna about do it for this one, man. Most definitely. Oh, I always thought Madden 09 wasn't really a bad game. I always liked Madden 09 next gen version. Obviously, it wasn't better than the PS2 version, obviously. But I always felt like Madden 09 was a good Madden. I never understood the hate. I felt like Madden 09 to Madden 12 on next gen those were the best Maddens ever made. Anything after those Maddens was trash, in my personal opinion. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.